quick intro, some of our intentions that we set. So last year we had an ambitious idea of what would it look like for us to take our journal and turn it into an experience. Because for us, we don't believe that design is only a theory or lives in paper. Design is actually an experience that we all participate in every day, whether we know it or not. And what's a better way to be able to experience that than having something that's communal, something that we can share out. And one of the ambitions from last year was, well, what would it look like if we thought about the actual symposium not just located in one space, like the MCA. Shout out to the MCA and Daniel for being such a great partner. But even the MCA's team was also aligned with us to think, well, what would happen if we're able to activate Chicago as a city? And what would it look like for us to actually leverage our resources and our position to be able to shine the light on great organizations and spaces in Chicago that may not always get that light. And so I just want to give a round of applause for the Blanc Gallery for being able to host us on this evening as well. So I'm not going to take up that much more time because there's way more exciting things to happen, and there's also exciting things tomorrow. But I do want to make an intro to Nicole Cardoza, who is going to be guiding us through the next 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm excited because it's about magic, it's about blackness, it's about imagination, it's about suspending disbelief, it's about what does it mean for us to not only envision the new world that we want to get to, but what are the tools that we actually need to be able to get to that? And I do believe that magic holds this space of liminality that allows for us to disconnect from what we are now in our past to project ourselves into the desired future. So I'm going to step away. And you can take it away.
Amazing, thank you. What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Y'all can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Give it up for New. That was amazing. You just said my whole thesis on magic, so thank you for that. If you want to get closer, because this is a close-up-esque show, I highly encourage you to do that. There's a couple of seats. My phone's on one of them. But at any point in time, or you can bring your seats forward. I mean both of those things. So if you can't see how many fingers I'm holding up, especially if they're down here, it might make sense for you to move a little bit closer. I promise I'm not going to hurt you. There's a seat right here. Oh, hey. I want to cry because someone dreamed of today. Maybe they shouted it from the rooftops until their voice got hoarse. Or it was something that they whispered to themselves in humbled prayer, or a song that they didn't even know the words to, but they kept humming over and over again. And that dream that they designed persisted amongst all the beauty and the terror that we know, for each of us to be in this room today. I got into magic because I've been so inspired by the power of our breath. The opportunity that it offers us to imagine and reimagine the world and to invite others with joy and awe and wonder in our voices. It's incredible to me that we can use our breath for that. A simple exhale is as if it creates entire universes with bubbles. Now I know this seems silly. I'm a big little kid. This is soap and water, yes. But watch, with an exhale, it's as if we can create a whole new galaxy. It feels so real and looks so profound. It's as if we could always reach out and grab one. Hold it between our fingers and make it real. I'm a magician, in case you didn't know. And I don't know if that was explicit enough in the introduction, so we're going to be doing a little magic together. We're going to be doing a little world building together. We're going to be disrupting, unlearning, and reimagining what we can do. And I don't know what all of you do, what you call yourselves, what role you have on your LinkedIn profile, but to me, y'all are magicians too. And so we're going to practice this craft together. And to do this, I'm going to need your help. So just know if I ask you to help at any point, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to ask you to do any hard math tricks or spell anything on stage, okay? I'll never do anything at your expense. Because what kind of world would I be designing for that? All right? And just know if you're up here or if I come to you and you're really worried about being in the spotlight, I do magic for a living, so I will always be the dorkiest one of the group. All right? The first time I knew that I could create new worlds, though, was when I was 7 years old. That's when my aunt gave me an origami kit for my birthday. I told you I'm a nerd. You should have known that by now, the whole magic thing. But I love this origami kit. It was actually a life-size magic kit, a life-size origami kit, which means that I could build things that were larger than life. Now remember, I was 7. The paper that I got was so big, I had to have my sisters help me so I could get every single fold and every single crease absolutely perfect. This kit had a whole bunch of different things. We were able to create these flowers that were so tall, it made it look like our house disappeared from the street when we put them out. Up and down the sides of the driveway. Oh, we built elephants. We put them in the backyard. We had squirrels hanging from trees. It was as if we could make a whole new world appear from each of these cards. You all see these okay? I became so obsessed with this, building these over and over and over again, that I memorized every single fold. And I got to the point that one day I didn't even have to look at the cards at all, or any of the instructions. I could just sense from each card what was going to come up. Now, do you mind helping me out?
Sure.
What's your name?
Leslie.
Leslie, and what makes you magical, Leslie?
Love.
Love. Give it up for Leslie and love. Now, Leslie, you can just take any one of these. Just don't look at it, okay? That's very important. Because, Leslie, I don't want people to think that I paid you or we built something out. So nobody's seen that. And what I'm going to do is try to make what I sense from that card very easy. Use this paper. Ceasefire, exactly. We're going to fold this up, and we're going to make it into something magical. Now, it's been a little while since I was doing this all over, but I think you're going to get the sense of, ooh. Okay, let me try this way. It's easier when you have a team. But I think, y'all are designers, right? You're going to be able to get this. Watch. We're going to take this corner. We're going to fold this in. We're going to do that, and then there we go. Y'all know what this is, right? Yeah. You all get it? Oh, okay. Leslie, can you show everybody on that card what was I supposed to be making for the first time? Oh, a paper ball? A paper ball. Oh, I did pretty good. Give it up for Leslie, everybody. You know what, Leslie? I know, as a token of my appreciation, you can have that. A paper ball, everybody. Thank you. Now, I know that's probably not like the coolest thing that we could have made out of that group, but that paper ball might look like trash to some people, but for us, there's a story there, right? I saw so many of you laugh and step into your childlike sense of joy and awe and wonder with something as silly as a piece of paper. You see, when we do design right, when we reimagine how we show up and build places where we can communicate, it might not always look as sexy as we might think. Sometimes we rely too much on technology and the latest AI to create things that can connect us to one another, but a simple piece of paper, like I learned when I was 7, can have a whole new meaning. Well, that's when we do it together, because if I stood here and just crumpled a piece of paper and showed it to you, you probably would have wondered why I was even here to begin with, right? Designing, like magic, is a call and response. We can't be building things in isolation. Imagine if I just did this. Not very cool when I find a card if you didn't ask me to. What does this card mean? It's absolutely nothing, right? The magic comes from the fact that we get to engage with one another. So we are going to do a couple of card tricks if that's cool with y'all. I'm going to walk through the audience and get some of you to help me out. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, amazing. To start off, do you mind helping me out?
Of course.
What's your name?
Stacia.
Stacia. And what makes you magical, Stacia?
I would say my height.
Your height. Give it up for Stacia and their height. Now, Stacia, I'd love for you to pick a card, any card, just don't let me see it. You got it? Now I want you to, I'm not looking. God, I turned away. You got it? Okay. I want you to think about that card in your mind. See if you could like paint a picture of that card as if you were drawing it. And I want you to, if you have to, you can say that card again over and over in your head. Like the 4 of spades, 4 of spades, 4 of spades. Is the 4 of spades your card? Is that the card that you have in your hands? I'm pretty good. Give it up for Stacia. Thank you. And then same thing, would you mind helping me out?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to give these a little ripple. Same thing, I just want you to pick a card, any card. That's your card?
Yep.
Does that card, take a look at it. I'm not going to look at it. Don't show it to anybody else, please. Now, does that card mean anything to you?
Not particularly.
No significance in the number 3. No significance in the spades. You have the 3 of spades in your hands. Right back and forth, everybody. The 3 of spades, 4 of spades, 3 of spades. That's pretty wild. And do you mind helping me out?
Sure.
What's your name?
Flora.
Flora, and what makes you magical?
My curiosity.
Your curiosity, amazing. I want you to pick a card, any card.
Sure.
And you can take a look at it. You can show other people this time. Okay? You got it?
Yeah.
Memorized it? Y'all have some? Okay, great, amazing. You're gonna put this in here. And I'm gonna lose your card somewhere in here in the middle of the deck. Now, I'm gonna find your card. I mean, obviously, I'm a magician. That wouldn't be very fun if I didn't do that otherwise, right? I'm gonna try to find your card with one hand. All right, can everybody see this okay? My teacher can do this in about 2 seconds. I can do it in about 4. I found your card a long time ago, but just with this hand, not this hand. Is this your card, the King of Diamonds? Give it up for Flora. Amazing. Now I have to circle back to you. What makes you magical?
My imagination.
Your imagination. Remind me of your name again.
Profit.
Give it up for Prophet and their imagination for making them magical. Amazing. And I'm going to have one more person help me out. Do you mind helping me out here in the amazing? And same thing, you can actually, you know what, I'll make this even easier. You're not even going to have to touch one. You just tell me, I'm going to riffle through the cards. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
All right, this is going to be your card, all right? I want you to think about this card. Think about it in your mind. I'm sensing a 9. Did you have the 9 of hearts?
No.
No. What was your card?
The 9 of clubs.
The 9 of clubs. What was your name?
Lexi.
Lexi. And what makes you magical, Lexi?
My kindness.
Give it up for Lexi and their kindness. Now, Lexi, I was close, but I wasn't perfect. I'm going to come back to you. Can you remember that card?
Sure.
You've got that? You all got that for accountability's sake? Thank you, Lexi. Yes, I know. Because, you know, magicians should always be right. That's one thing that we learned. But I think that we all know, as magicians, as designers in this room, that this work is an art and not a science. It doesn't happen that way all the time. And it's not easy when we think that we can read people's minds or we're trying to connect with them. We're going to get it wrong sometimes. You know, it's easy to do things right sometimes. But it's much, much, much harder to do it well and do it in a way that serves everybody. And so what I've been really passionate about is what do we do in those moments when the science fails us? When the tools that we've learned to do this trade don't reflect the desired intentions that we have, or we've noticed even worse, that they cause harm. Lexi, I hope I didn't cause harm by picking the wrong, okay, great. Just making sure. But there are much more serious ways in which that we can abuse our craft, right? And when I got into magic, I learned a lot about the kind of magician I didn't want to be very quickly. Like many industries, people that look like me are so vastly underrepresented. Stage magic, like many things that we know, is a practice of colonization. A way in which white men were able to take some of the spiritual and religious practices that many of us and our ancestors knew dear and do on stage as a way to own, as a way to control, and as a way to further other the people that actually feel seen in that work. And so I came into magic and learned it, and I did a lot of unlearning, and I've been trying to find stories of magicians that inspire me that I can carry forward as part of my work, to ensure that I'm being informed by the types of practices that I would feel seen if I saw when they were performing. One of those performers, her name is Ellen Armstrong. I talk about her in all of my shows. And I do that because I want to make sure that she's not forgotten. You see, she's the first Black woman to have her own solo show and tour it across the United States. Her own solo magic show. She's a magician. And she performed in the 1940s to the 1960s, so traveling the Jim Crow South, doing her magic as a Black woman. And she performed in Black churches. So for anybody that goes to the Black church, I'm still blown away that she was able to do the type of stuff I'm about to show you at the front of a Black church. And what I love about her work is she used her practice to instill a sense of magic and all of those that followed. I also really love her work because she was a coin magician, like me. So she would use these 2 coins that I'm about to do for a routine very similar to this. And she didn't do it because she was rich or she wanted to show money. She wanted to cultivate a practice of abundance with her communities that probably didn't have that opportunity. Now, when she was performing, it was a couple of years before America's Got Talent and YouTube and primetime shows with magicians. She was performing for audiences that might have never seen something like this before, but having the same conversation, using new tools to connect more deeply with the people that she loved most. So I'm going to show you something that's inspired by her. Do you mind helping me out?
I'm so excited.
What's your name?
Wassam.
Wassam.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes you magical?
Probably my birth chart, to be honest.
I love this. Give it up for Wassam and their birth chart, everybody. So Wassam, your work is very important right now because when people ask how this happened, I'm just going to send them to you. You are going to be the truth teller. I want you to take a look at these 2 coins.
Okay.
And make sure that those are real, normal coins. Make sure they're not magnetic or made of chocolate or anything like that. You trust it?
Yes.
It seems good. Mm-hmm. I got them from the Tooth Fairy, but otherwise there's nothing weird about them at all. And I know this sounds weird, but can you just check out my hands?
Sure.
Are there any pockets or anything like that?
No.
Any magnets?
Nope.
I don't even have any rings on.
Nope.
You can see that my sleeves are rolled up. Would you mind actually would you mind just rolling that up a little bit? Oh, you listen. So you assert that this is fair, right? I've got these 2 coins just like this. Can everybody see these 2 coins okay? All right, and nothing in my hands, no weird pockets or anything like that. So we're gonna try to make a little something happen with these 2 coins. All right, does anybody else wanna take a look at them? Because that's okay too. All right, cool. So I'm gonna take these 2 silver dollars. I'm gonna place them in my left hand just like this. Can you all see that okay? Okay, in a moment, my arms aren't going to move and my hands aren't going to cross. But like Ellen did almost a century ago, with Jesus on the cross behind her, I'm going to make one of these coins move from this hand to this hand, restoring balance. From here to here. Yeah, just like that. Thank you. You want me to do it again? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do it again for you. Watch, we're going to take these 2 coins just like this. Nothing's happened yet. I still have the 2 coins here. I know you can't see. It's kind of hard. You know, I don't even have to do it with my hands closed. Actually, I can do it from the tips of my fingers, and that way everybody in the back can see it. Does that sound good? And that way you can even see the moment that these 2 coins move from one hand to the other. So we've got 2 coins here, nothing here. But I'm going to warn you, the moment I do this, it's fast. It's so fast you might miss it. So 2 coins here, nothing here. And then they switch from one hand to the other so quickly. I know. Because this blew my mind when I saw it for the first time. I know how it feels to feel this happen and to see it. Now, I don't know how Ellen Armstrong did this. She died before I was born. So I don't know what her method was, but I do have a sense, you know. I don't know much about her, but I do know that she was a Black woman. She was raised by a Black woman, who was raised by a Black woman, who was raised by a black woman. And if there's one thing that I think black women can do really well is pull a dollar out of nowhere. Stretch a dollar further than you think it can go, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense that a black woman would be able to have 2 coins just like this, hold them with the tips of her fingers over here and make 2 coins turn into 3, just like that. I know. Every time. I know this is wild, because I showed you 2 coins. You held them between your hands. Right? I showed you coin number 1, and I showed you coin number 2. I also showed you coin number 3. It was just invisible. It was just waiting for its moment to shine. Yeah, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to move to the back, because I know some of y'all are like, this is witchcraft up front, all right? So I'll do a little 360 for y'all, if that works. I'm going to take these 2 coins just like this. I'm going to place them in my hand just like this. That's very fair. Everybody saw that, right? I'm going to reach out and grab that 3rd coin that's invisible. It's right here. I know that you can't see it, but I promise you it's at the tips of my fingers. But as I did that, y'all, I made one of these coins invisible. So now we just have 1 coin. I thought it'd be easier because, I know everybody can't see. All right? Now watch. With a wave, I'll make that one disappear, and a wave, I'll bring it right back. This still gives us coin number 1. I'm going to make coin number 2 appear at the tips of my fingers. All right? On the count of 3, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Oh, these fingers. Not these fingers. And then I'll reach out and grab coin number 3. But before I do, I want to make it clear there's nothing in my hands, no weird pockets or anything like that. There's nothing up my sleeves. My dress is like see-through. So I don't know how I would do that. All jokes aside though, because y'all are magicians, I'm going to tell you the secret to these little coins here. Sometimes we have to believe in things before we see them. Know that they're out there waiting for us. Feel them at the tips of our fingers. Believe in them even if nobody else does. And whisper them into the night. 1 word at a time, 1 practice at a time. So we can take 2 coins, or 1 idea, or a thought, or a movement, and turn it into something more. Giving us coin number 1, coin number 2, and coin number 3. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I mentioned before that, I feel like just like this big little kid sometimes, things like bubbles and origami, they've really connected me to that practice that I had that I didn't know I had lost. When I was little, I believed in everything. I used to think that Pokemon were real. They were just invisible. I used to think that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lived in these sewers outside of my apartment building. And I waited for a long period of time for a letter to come through by owl, whisking me away through platform 9 3/4 so I'd find myself in a new world. I don't think I actually thought that those things could happen in my life, but I just wanted a reason to believe. And this practice of suspending disbelief, of allowing yourself to root in something that seems so fantastical and outrageous that it is true in your body, that's a practice that we lose as we age. One day I grew up without my consent. I found myself not believing in things as often, but feeling so cynical about this world, dealing with lower back pain and adult acne and a slight addiction to red wine. And it may be that all that's not the same, but you too feel like you grew up a little bit too soon and too quickly. When we are designing for dignity, when we are reimagining things beyond what we ever thought that could ever be possible, we can start by introducing our childlike self to the conversation and honoring the lineage and the ancestry that brought them here today. It might mean that you have to go back to feeling the first time you made magic by folding a piece of paper over and over again to become something real. Can I see that paper ball again from you really quick? You can take it home. I just want to use it for one more thing. That moment when nothing became something. Now, in the back, I think I messed up your card, right? I said that it was the 9 of hearts, but it was actually the 9 of clubs. I love it, your friends like giving you that confirmation. And I should have remembered because earlier today, when I was on the plane, I had a vision. of us. I had a vision of the space I wanted to create. And so I knew I had to tell a story with a piece of paper. A piece of paper that I lovingly folded into something that looked like trash but is treasure, our collective lived experience. And on the back of that, I wrote down one thing, one card, actually, the 9 of clubs. Was that actually your card that you picked out of nowhere randomly? Give it up for everybody that helped me out this evening. My name is Nicole Cardoza. I am so honored that I get to be in this practice with each of you. I will be around after the talk if you want to see more magic and talk magic. Thank you.